Good evening and welcome to English Without Borders weekly Thursday webinar series. We are delighted to have such a fantastic webinar today at 6 p.m. Tajikistan time, with the attendees joining us via both Facebook and Zoom. And in today's webinar, we will focus on the topic Unlocking Communication Confidence, Master Speaking and Writing with ICAP Framework. Our 100th speaker, Sarvinoz Komilova, will share her insights on this topic. And before giving the floor to our 100th speaker, I would like to introduce her to you. Sarvinoz Komilova is a master-level English instructor with experience in both online and offline teaching. She's passionate about using technology to engage her students and help them achieve their goals. And she is also a teacher trainer and is dedicated to sharing her knowledge with others. Sarvinoz was chosen as the best English instructor of 2022 by the University of Central Asia School of Professional and Continuing Education, and she is a valuable asset to the SPC Bukhtar community. Thank you very much, dear audience. Thanks for joining. And now, dear Sarvinoz, the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you for such wonderful greeting and introduction. It's my pleasure and honor to be delivering this presentation to all of you. And thank you all for joining. I hope that you find today's session very useful and at the same time enjoyable. And if during webinar you have any questions or any thing to discuss, please feel free to type in the chat or unmute yourself and ask the questions. Okay, so and let's begin. As Malma Gulnora mentioned kindly, today's webinar's name is Unlocking Communication Confidence, how with the help of ICAP framework we can master speaking and writing. So this will be the content of today's webinar. We'll have a bit warm-up, we will have the lead-in, we will get introduced with the ICAP framework, we'll discuss some cases, we'll have discussion in the groups, in pairs, and at the end we will conclude the session, and of course we'll also have questions and answer session. And by the end of this webinar, by the end of this session, I hope that you will get familiar with the ICAP framework. You will discuss the cases based on ICAP. You will be able to learn how to design more constructive and interactive activities. And also you will analyze your current teaching methods. And also I hope that you will find this session useful. So let's commence with the warm-up. Let's look at this cartoon. Let's look at this picture and tell me what you understand by this. What can you see? What does it mean for you? You can chat. You can type in the chat box or unmute yourself and tell us your opinion on these cartoon. And I will also read this cartoon for you. I taught Stripe how to whistle. I don't hear him whistling. I said I taught him. I didn't say he learned it. So what do you understand? How do you understand it? Feel free to unmute yourself, or again, you can type in the chat box. Any ideas?
So hi, dear Sarvinoz. Is
Hello,
it only me?
Diasadberg.
I just have a question. Is it only me who cannot see the screen? So I cannot see it.
Oh, good. I didn't ask
Maybe
this
it's
question.
because of my slow
Can others
internet.
see the screen?
Yes,
Malma
we do
Gulnara, can
see.
you see it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
can
can.
see
sorry,
that. Yeah.
Sadberg, that
I have
maybe
problem with
something
internet.
wrong with your internet connection.
Yeah.
Hey, no comments in the chat box.
Sarvinoz, can I share?
Yes, Malma Munawara, of course.
Okay. First of all, glad to see you.
Glad to see you, glad to hear you.
Yes. From this writing, I guess that the teacher teaches what she knows, but sometimes the students don't get it properly. And it doesn't mean that the teacher doesn't teach, but how they have been taken, the information, and how they are using. This depends on the learners also, not only teacher, but both have to try what they have learned and use it in their practice in order to improve their maybe what they have taught, what they have been taught.
Yeah, thank you. I do agree with you. It is. It is like this. We can teach as many things as we can. We can teach, we can, give all our strength, all our energy to teaching, but it doesn't mean that our students learn all the time, right? And we as teachers will have to assess whether students learned anything from what we taught or no. And I hope that this will be kind of a reminder for all of us teachers to not only teach, but assess if our teaching is effective, or is it just we are talking and students are not learning anything. So thank you for your insight, Malima. Thank you so much. Let's begin with our ICAP framework. So before we talk about each of these steps of ICAP, can you tell me, what do you think? What do these letters stand for? What do they mean? What is I? What is C? What is A? And what is P, in your opinion? You can just type in the chat box if you want. Or again, we can hear your beautiful voices if you unmute and speak up. So what do you think? What is I? What is C? What is A? And what is P? Connected with IT as a mean of communication. Nice idea, Maima. Thank you for sharing your idea. Interactive. I is interactive. Nice. Any other ideas? What is C? What is A? C is constructive. Thank you. What is A and what is P? active and passive. Nice. Excellent. Good guesses. Yeah. And you have guessed correctly. So it is. It stands for these words. I is interactive, C constructive, A active, and P is passive. So this ICAP theory was introduced by Micheline Chi, and she created this learning method which sorts the students' cognitive engagement into 4 types. Interactive, which means working with someone else. Constructive, which means creating something. Active, doing something. And passive, it's just watching, listening, or reading without any other engagement. So before we talk about each of these steps one by one, let me tell you about the key benefits of this ICAP framework, why I have chosen this framework for today's webinar. So the first one is enhanced learning outcomes. As we know, the more students are engaged with material, the more they learn, and the more much better results we will get by the end of our lessons. Improved cognitive engagement. If students are engaged with material more, we can analyze, we can see, and we can see the result, we can assess whatever we have taught. Better student participation. This framework helps, again, engage students, which means that students participate in our lesson even better and more. Facilitates active learning. As we know, active learning is far more effective than traditional lecture-based lessons. And with the help of this framework, we can help students to be more active. Guides instructional design. Whenever you plan the lesson, this ICAP framework will help you analyze your students' needs and requirements, and this will help you create your lesson plans even in a more better way. Supports assessment of learning activities. As we saw in the cartoon in the first slide, yes, we can teach as much as we want, as much as we can, but still we cannot all the time assess whether our students learned anything or no. And this framework will help us to see the production of our teaching, whether students are learning or not. So let's start and let's analyze each of these letters one by one. And we'll go from the very basic level to the higher level. The first basic level of engagement, cognitive engagement, is passive. In passive engagement, it means that students just sit. They don't do anything physically. They just receive information. The example of these kind of activities can be listening to the teacher or to the audio and not taking any notes, not doing anything, not writing, not highlighting, not summarizing, or watching the video, again, without doing anything. The example can be reading the text as well, and again, without taking notes, without highlighting. So this is the basic level of engagement. And we call this engagement passive because students receive, don't do anything. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one is active. Active, again, as we can understand from the meaning of the word, students are doing something. Not passively receiving it, but also they're doing. For example, while they're listening to the audio, they take notes, they highlight something, they summarize the listening, they do something physically. Or, for example, when they read the text, they answer the question. Or if they watch the video, they maybe choose true or false for the statements. It means they are physically active. They're doing something with what we are giving them. If we're giving them the text, they're doing something with it. If we're giving them the words, again, they're doing something with it. That's why we call this engagement active. Let's move on to that next level of engagement, which is constructive. And constructive means creating. Students receive something from us, teachers. They can do something actively with it by being active, but also the next step is that they can create new knowledge based on what we have taught them. The examples can be writing an essay. We can give them the topic. Students create something. They write an essay from their own imagination, right? Or when they listen to the audio, they can create concept map or Venn diagram, analyze whatever they are reading or listening to. It means they are generating new ideas beyond what we have taught them. So constructive means creating, and it means that we teach something to students, and they, whatever they learned, they add something new from themselves. They generate new knowledge. They create something new based on what we have taught them. And the last step of this framework is interactive. This is the highest level of engagement, and it means that students are interacting with someone. It can be interacting with their peers, with their groups. It can be interacting with their phone. It can be interacting with the teacher, and they engage in discussions, in debates, in back and forth communication with peers or in groups. The example of interactive can be debates, group project, discussions where students interact with somebody. And this is the highest level of ICAP framework. And of course, interactive step would be much, much more effective if it's at the same time constructive. So where students create something and they share it with their peers or in the groups. So these were 4 steps of ICAP. Do you have any questions so far? If you have any questions, type in the chat so we can discuss it. Okay. No, nice, good. I hope everything is clear so far. But again, any more questions, let me know so we can discuss. Okay, now let me check how much you understood, as we said, right? So passive, let's kind of summarize. Passive, students read, listen, watch, do nothing. Active, students physically do something. They listen, they highlight, they take notes, they summarize, they, do something physically with it. They match words with definitions. Constructive, students create new knowledge. Whatever we teach them, they add something from themselves. Interactive, students engage with their peers. They interact with their peers. Okay, and it can be peers, it can be group, and they share their knowledge, whatever they have learned. And in constructive and interactive level, as you can see, students have they have to either write something or say something. And that's why this way we can help them boost their speaking and writing skills. And it means that no matter what skill we are teaching, we can somehow incorporate writing and speaking skills into their session. So let's analyze. Let's see how much you have learned so far. Now let's look at this activity and tell me, is it passive, active, constructive, or interactive? Which level of ICAP is it? Oh, I'm so happy for you, Sadbar, that you can see the screen. Now, I hope that you will be able to answer the questions. The students discuss with their partners or in their groups. What kind of activity is it? Is it active, passive, constructive, or interactive? You can just, type I, C, A, or P. Okay, interactive, good. Any other ideas? Interactive, I. Yes, a lot of people agree that it's interactive. Good. Yes, and you're right. If we make students discuss something with someone, it is definitely interactive. Thank you so much for your answers. Good. Let's look at next one. Student matches new words with their definitions. Is it I, C, A, or P? I hope you remember what do these letters stand for.
It's individual. What? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that you weren't able to see the screen. That's why maybe you... Okay, so we have different answers. We have active, passive, constructive. Nice. We can discuss upon this. And yeah, can you kind of elaborate why you think it's active, why you think it's passive, and why you think it's constructive? What helped you understand that it's active, or it's passive, or constructive? Because I can see
Okay, good evening.
okay, yeah, speak up, please. We are listening.
So,
Okay, sorry, can I say?
Yes, of course. You're welcome.
Okay, when we say that, when, for example, the students discuss with their partners or in groups, usually we say that it is active. Why? Why we say that it is can be active? Because when we talk with each other, we just share our ideas. And for example, the second person that's work with in groups, they have also to thought about, for example, something that his or her partner says, and he has new ideas to telling. And when he saw in groups his partner that he's active, and he also become more active, I think so. The students match new words with their definition. It's also sometimes I think it is depends on students. When, for example, some of the students, they can work just alone. They, for example, like matching definition. Some of the students like work in a group. Some of them didn't like it, dislike it. And I think the second is depends on the students, which kind of students you have in a class, and it can be for some of them can be active, and for some of them can be passive. I think it's just my opinion. I don't know why
Thank
correct
you
or
for
not.
sharing your
so
opinion.
yes, Sarvinoz. Fortunately, I have made the screenshot of the previous slide. So where it was mentioned that when you what else it was there? So when you setting, when you structurizing, yes, summarizing on comparing, it means that you are doing constructive constructive exercise, or what? I think it's constructive. We call it analyze, yes? Constructive
Okay.
analyze, yes?
I think that it is similar to passive. Why? Because this shows like the student is engaged alone, yes. and there is no engagement. She is passively sitting and doing the task,
Thank you. So many.
and there is no engagement.
Thank you all so much.
Thought like this. I thought it's like passive have to think work because the student, they are only matching, they are not talking. It's kind of passive, but in other way, if they will discuss with their partners their work, it can be sometimes in a rest. If they can make their own project, they can show.
Actually, great ideas. I would kind of, agree with part agree, because sometimes, yeah, we can call this task, constructive, but there is a big
But it's
if.
passive. She's doing reading.
This
Yes?
is active. I'm sorry for kind of,
Oh.
because they do something physically. Passive means they're sitting doing nothing. But when they match, they have to move, right? Even if they're doing it alone, they are moving physically. They are matching words and definitions. So this is active. And why? Sometimes we can call it constructive too, but only if they add something from themselves. But here, they don't add anything. They just have the word, they have definitions, they match it. They have everything provided by teacher, and they don't have to create anything new. That's why it's active. But nice ideas. You can, improve this stage as well. Now let's look at third one. The student reads new vocabulary. Which one is it? I, C, A, or P? Okay, Abdul Khaliq writes that is active. Dilfuza says it's passive. Any other ideas? Passive. Okay. Passive.
I think it's passive.
Can you explain why, Abdul Khaliq? If you want.
Yeah, because
It's passive because the students they read new vocabularies and they don't act.
Okay, great. Thank you for explanation. Yep, and agreed. It is passive. The students only read. And we as teachers, again, we don't know whether a student actually is reading vocabulary or maybe some daydreaming about something else. So that's why it's the lowest basic cognitive engagement for our students. Thank you. And the last one. The student writes his or her own sentences with these words. Is it I, C, A, or P? Constructive. Active.
It is constructive. I wrote interactive because the student is making his own project beyond the teacher's lesson or explanation. He's writing his own essay, I think. That's why we can call it constructive.
Thank you. Yeah. And we have many answers in the chat box saying that it's constructive. Some of you have said that it's active. I agree with you as well. It is constructive, yeah, because they write their own sentences. They are producing beyond what we have given them. So we gave them vocabulary, they created new sentences with it, right? And I agree with you that it can be active because, yes, students are writing. So this is both active and constructive, okay? Now let's take a look at each. Yep.
Sorry, I have one question about
Sure.
passive here.
Yes.
You said that passive, it is, for example, the student doing nothing, but can be it is passive because she is reading, she has found new vocabulary for her, she is doing something. Can it be passive?
If she does something, for example, if she reads and highlights new vocabulary, or if she reads and finds answers for the questions, we can call it active. But if only it's a reading, if only we ask students to read something, it's passive, because it's hard to assess whether they have learned anything or no. Are they again reading or daydreaming, thinking about something else?
It
So
is
that's
like
why we call it passive.
sorry.
They're only receiving, maybe they're learning, but we as teachers, we cannot analyze whether they're learning or no. So
Okay.
that's why
Thank
let's
you.
take a look at each of these steps one more time.
Okay,
Passive.
thank
Students read, do nothing, or students listen or watch and do nothing, nothing physically. The next
It
step
means
is,
they are not
yep,
moving, yes? They are
yes,
not
they're not
moving.
moving. They're also
Okay.
passively sitting and receiving
Mhm.
knowledge.
Okay.
Again, we cannot know whether they are actually learning or no. Second one is active. Student matches words with definitions. They're physically active, right? That's why it's called active. They're not creating anything new. If they create something new, if they write something from their own without, beyond what we have taught them, this is constructive. And the last one, if they read their sentences and discuss them with their partners, it's interactive. So, any questions so far?
Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
No, it's okay. Don't. It's always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to
Thank
hear
you.
you speak up. Okay? Any questions about passive, active, constructive, and interactive? Okay, thank you so much. Well, as I usually say to my students, if you don't have any questions for me, I will have questions for you. So let's check how much you learned, right? So, yeah, that's again the reminder that interactive is kind of better. And if we move from passive to active to constructive and interactive, we will have better learning outcomes. Okay, now, what level of ICAP is it? Is it interactive, constructive, active, or passive? You can just type letters I, C, A, or P. Students are taking notes. Students are highlighting. They're answering the questions. It's okay. Dilfuza says it's active. Do you all agree with her? You can just type the letter. Is it A, P, C, I? Great. Yes, it is active. Agree with you all. Next one. Watching a video, observing peers, reading presentation, listening to a podcast, reading an article. What level of ICAP is this one? Okay, Dilfuza says it's passive. P, good. Arda says it's P. P, P, P. Yep. And yep, it is passive because they are just receiving information. They're just watching, observing peers. They just observe. They don't do anything about it. So that's why, yes, it is passive. Next one, what level of ICAP is this one? Is it I, C, or A, or P? Analyzing, evaluating, categorizing, creating and delivering information, presentation, concept mind mapping, investigating a question. C, constructive. Yes, agree with all of you. Thank you. And the last one, discussion, conversation, co-producing, delivering, role-playing, peer reviewing, interactive. It is also It can also be considered active, but of course, when they're shared with someone, it's even the higher level. It's interactive. Yes, agree with all of you. Thank you. Now, let's look at one case because of debate. Yeah, thank you for that debate. It is. Let's look at one case and let me know what you think. What level of ICAP is this one? You only have to write I, C, A, or P. The teacher asks the students to write a paragraph about their favorite hobby or activity. The students have to use the present simple tense and some adverbs of frequency. The students write their paragraphs individually. The teacher then collects the paragraphs and gives feedback on the grammar, vocabulary, and content. What kind of activity is this one? Is it I, C, A, or P? Okay, we have interactive, active, passive. A. A lot of people think that it's A. Student write a paragraph about their hobbies. Yeah, Gulchaman Shakirova says it's C. Finally, yes. Yeah, it is constructive because they write a paragraph about their hobby. They have to create the paragraph. And it's not interactive because they do it individually. Interactive is only when students discuss it with their peers or in groups. And if they do it individually, it's not interactive. And again, it's not passive because they write. Again, they're moving, they're writing something. So that's why it's constructive. Okay, let's look at one more case. The teacher asked the students to watch a video about the culture and customs of an English-speaking country. The students watched the video without taking notes or doing any other activity. Is it I, C, A, or P? P. P.
So maybe I will be wrong again, but I think it's passive because the students are not taking notes. They're just sitting and watching it.
You are absolutely right. Thank
Wow.
you. Yes. And yeah,
Exactly.
because they're not doing anything, they're just watching, right? And they're not doing anything about it. So that's why it's passive. Thank you. Next one. The teacher gives the students a list of vocabulary words related to food and drink. The students have to match words with the definitions or pictures or translations. Then teacher checks it with other students in the groups, in the whole group. Is it I, C, A, or P? Active. One answer from Dilfuza, active. Abdul says it's active. Active. Yes, thank you so much. You are right. It is active because they are matching, right? New words with definitions. Thank you so much. And the last one. The teacher divides the students into pairs or small groups. The teacher gives each pair or group a set of cards with different sentences. The students have to arrange the story in correct logical order and then present it in front of the class. Is it I, C, A, or P? Interactive, nice. Any other opinion? Any other ideas? Or do we all agree with Dilfuza and Farda? that it's interactive. Yes, you are right. It is interactive because they're doing it in pairs or groups. Okay, thank you all so much. Now let's move on to, yeah, I hope you're all feeling not tired after these cases. So yeah, you can take your time and type in the chat, how are you feeling? And we will move on to discussion. Let's read this activity. Can you tell me, is it passive, active, interactive, constructive? The students read the text and answer the questions.
I think that it's interactive because the students is reading and also answering the question, which means that there is some kind of interaction between them, between teachers.
They are answering the questions in their notebooks individually.
So it means passive. Oh,
No, they are answering the questions.
It's constructive.
construction, I think.
Yeah, it's constructive.
Yes, constructive because their own opinion.
Yeah, I would say that it's active because they are finding answers from the text, not from their own, maybe. Yeah, I also can use, you can say that they're generating something, but they're not creating anything new. They're just looking at the text and writing the number or something related to the text. And now your job is to make this task constructive or interactive. How you can ask students, how you can make students write something or say something, how we can help them improve their speaking and writing.
Okay, when we make it interactive, for example, we can use any group works. For example, divide them to groups and they can read this text in a groups and discuss it and then find answer for the questions when we make it interactive.
Thank you. Good idea. Yes, discuss it. Discuss these questions in the groups. We'll make it interactive. Thank you. And interactive means, again, right, speaking. It helps speaking skills of the students.
So
any
also
other ideas?
you can prepare some cards with the information from the text and then do it as a warm-up activity, or yes, it also can be an interactive activity.
So they will discuss those questions in pairs or groups to make it interactive, right?
Yeah, you can divide them in, yes, they can do pay a share, or so it's up to the teacher. How does she do it?
It's up to us. Yes, it's up to the teacher. You can take any task and improve it. And whenever you make the task constructive or interactive, you help your students produce by writing or speaking. And this will help boost their speaking skill and writing skill. And in order to do this, you don't have to be teaching exactly speaking or exactly writing. No matter what skill you are teaching, you can incorporate this framework and make your students say something or write something, which will help them. You know, you don't have to ask them to write the long essay, just, you know, some sentences, and students will enjoy it way, way more. Okay, any other ideas how to make this see or? Okay, let's read the comment. We can attract them to matching pictures by writing and then reading them. Yeah, good idea, by using pictures, right? Yeah, we can ask them also to predict, what do you think? What is this text going to be about? Where students generate new idea, like, oh, what is it going to be about, right?
We can also use critical thinking here. One kind of things that stop reading. It is one of activity that we can use. For example, we can show the text and they can read and we are stopping them. And for example, here we can ask question. For example, what happened in this situation? What do you think? What is your opinion? We just got from them any ideas, any opinion in order to think more.
Thank you. It is. It kind of also helps their critical thinking, as you said. We can
Yeah.
ask them to, you know, create
Make them
something, right?
active. Yeah.
Thank you. You're right. And you have mentioned so many good ideas. Thank you so much. And I know I will be repeating some of your ideas here, but let me share anyway. You can ask students to summarize the text with their own words, or maybe just summarize it with the words from the text as well, but it will help them with their writing skill, right? Debates or discussions. You can put some statements on the board regarding the text and ask them to discuss it with their partners or in groups. It will make it interactive. And of course, improves their speaking skill. Next one, you can just cut up the text and ask them in pairs or in groups, rearrange them, put them in order. Again, they will have to interact, which makes it interactive, right? And next one, use visual and props. Give them some pictures. Some word may be also enough. Guys, what do you think? What we are going to read about? They will kind of brainstorm a lot of ideas. This will make the reading task constructive. Create alternative endings and collaborate. You can ask them, hey guys, how would you end this story? They can, you know, come up with 2-3 sentences. They can either speak it or write it. And again, it will be constructive and interactive. And the last one is storytelling. You can ask students to retell the story, right? Read it and retell it to each other, which will make it constructive and interactive at the same time if they share it with each other. So as you can see, even when we are teaching reading, we can ask students to write or speak something. And as we know, writing and speaking are productive skills. And this way we will be able to analyze whether our students have learned anything or no. And at the same time, it will improve students' speaking and writing skills. Now I have one more task for you. Here I have 2 more activities. They are both active. And your job is to make them constructive or interactive. The first one related to writing. Students write down the text from the book. This is what we usually did back at my school time. We just wrote the text down from the book, that's all. And how we as teachers can improve it. Please, again, type your ideas in the chat box or speak up, please. And the same with speaking.
Can I say, Sarvinoz?
Of course.
For example, for example, for speaking, we will ask students to divide into 2 groups. And they already read the text, yes. We will ask them, one group will tell their opinion about advantages and the other group about disadvantages. In this case, they will try to say their own opinion, how this text has the advantages and disadvantages. And in writing form, I would like to say that, for example, the student they will finish their writing, then they will create their own essay or opinion like this in their own situation.
Yes, thank you. It is good ideas. Yeah, they can do group work. They can write something from their own. And how else you could improve this task?
Yeah, I also want to share my opinion regarding the speaking. The situation is so that the student already memorized the text, yes, and even if he comes in front of the class and retells this, other students can prepare questions and ask the student who has finished his speech, or even he cannot retell it, just answer other students' questions, or you can set them in pair. And also they also can ask each other some question regarding the text that they have they have had already read. And about the writing situation, the situation is so that the students write down the text from the book. So as you say, Sarvinoz, we also used to do like this, like we write the text from the book, and that is. So how can we change it? So we can write down some again, we can prepare some questions regarding the topic, or we can discuss it. Yes, we can discuss the writing that we have with the class, like as Farda, yes, Farda or Farida. Yes, said,
Farida, yes.
Farida,
Farida,
yes.
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
As Farida also said, we can discuss some situation that are also related to our lives if we have them. So,
Dilfuza Sadvark.
Yeah,
Dilfuza? Yeah, sorry.
Dilfuza shared it. Thank
So
you.
this is
Yes,
my
good ideas. Thank you so much. Any other ideas?
Okay, I have also one idea. What
Yes.
about the writing? I can say that, for example, we can use here when, for example, we give for students to write down the text from the book. Sometimes it's make boring for them, and some of them didn't write it, and we can use one activity here. Every of you know it. It is filling gaps. For example, some of the words that we didn't write, we can just more space there, and they can find the words, and it make them more interesting, I think. What about the speaking? I think we can use also one activity. It's by name Jigsaw. I think you know it. For example, when we divide them in groups, and they read the paragraph or the text that we gave for them, and then we again divide them in another groups in order to discuss, for example, whatever they discuss in their groups, then they can share their opinion, their discussion in other groups, and it make more active in make them more active in speaking. It is just my
Thank you.
opinion. I don't know it's
So,
right or not.
Thank you. Good ideas.
great idea.
Thanks for sharing.
Dear Sarvinoz, one other thing came to my mind. How about in writing case? How about using paraphrasing? Like
Awesome.
the students can read it, yes, and then
Yes.
they can write. They can paraphrase whatever they have read and write it. And also
Yeah.
this activity can help our students, especially at schools, because in future when they go to the Olympiads, they have to write expositions, which is this activity is very useful for them.
Yes, thank you. Wonderful ideas. And that's kind of the benefit of this theory. No matter what you teach, you can think, you can analyze how you can improve it. How can you move it to the next step? How you can move passive activity into active, how you can make active activity constructive. So that's the reason why I chose this topic. Actually, I really like this theory. And whenever you design a lesson, just keep in mind how you can make your students speak more and discuss more, and also at the same time writing. Okay, yep, there are some other activities which you can do with your students. You have mentioned most of them: essay writing, peer reviewing, sentence starters, interactive writing, storytelling chains. It is in the bag. You can always think of how you can improve it. The same goes with speaking. You have mentioned so many of them that I don't feel comfortable repeating them too. But yeah, we have picture storytelling, discussion, speed chatting, picture sequencing, role playing, and you can ask students to complete the missing dialogue. And yeah, this is how you can make it. So, and yep, let's summarize. Let's kind of conclude, and let me know if you have any questions. Yep, is the ICAP framework suitable for all communication styles, or are there certain personalities that might benefit more? Actually, ICAP framework can be used while teaching any subject. It doesn't have to be exactly English. In any subject which you are teaching, you can implement this framework. But of course, teachers need to see which step is more beneficial for their students. If you see that your students are feeling better in interactive, if they're learning more from interactive level, you can update your activity into interactive. But if you see that your students like creating something, they don't like interacting with someone, you can use more constructive level. So it's, again, it helps you analyze which is good for your students. Thank you for question, Madam Gulnara.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, dear audience, if you have any question, please, you can unmute yourself or you can use the chat to... Yeah, Farida, yes, please. You want to say something? Okay, there is another question. How can I measure my own progress in developing communication confidence using
good
the
question.
ICAP framework?
How you can measure your
Teacher,
own
can I?
progress? Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes,
Okay. Yes, I want to say to our dear teacher, first, thank you for EWB organizations. It was really, today's session was really...
I think she has internet connection issue.
Yeah, sorry, Farida, we couldn't hear you.
Yeah, Farida, it would be good if you can write your question in the chat box. Yes.
And while we are waiting for Farida to join us back,
Yeah.
how you can measure your own progress in developing communication confidence? Whatever you are learning, we teachers, we're also always learning. We're also trying to improve, right? And whatever you learn, try to create something new based on what you learned. You can just do reflecting journal, write a reflection like today I have learned this, this, and this. And you can also share it with someone else. This is the best way. If you learn something, share it with someone else. And this way you will be interactive, and this way it will improve your communication skills. You can share it with one person first, then kind of, increase the group of people, and then next time you can do the webinar and feel more confident in your communication skills.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. And there are some two more questions from the Facebook. Yes. In your experience, what common challenges do the students face when trying to improve their speaking and writing abilities? And how does the ICAP framework help overcome these challenges?
Usually when we say writing and speaking, our students imagine, writing essay, 5-paragraph essay, or they imagine giving a speech, right? And it scares them, to be honest. From what I have experienced, it scares them. If I say we have writing lesson, my students either disappear or they find some excuses to not come to the lesson. And ICAP framework helps us incorporate writing and speaking into our daily lesson. We're not going to say we have writing lesson. We just say, okay, let's learn some new words, or let's learn new grammar. Let's read this text. And then at the end, we can ask them to write some sentences or to produce some sentences, just say their opinion. And we will just, walk around and analyze. And this will help students feel more confident because they're not, writing a very long essay or giving a long speech. Some sentences. And this is how you start. That's why I find ICAP framework very useful.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, and let's look at another question. So beyond the ICAP framework itself, are there any other resources or techniques you recommend for someone who wants to become a more confident and impactful communicator?
Oh, good question. I would say the best technique is do it. Just do it. I'm telling you from my own experience, I was very scared. I was also shy to speak in front of people, to speak in audience. And what helped me personally is people around me who kind of believed in me more than I did in myself. They were like, you can do it. And that's how I felt a bit more confident. So that's why just do it. I hope you are surrounded by people who trust you, who believe in you. And I hope that they will motivate you to take a risk and do it. This is how
Yeah.
you can improve
Exactly.
your communication skills.
Yeah, the more practice. Yes, more
Yes.
practice.
The more practice, the better.
Yeah.
Limitations to
yes,
ICAP.
the last question. Are there any limitations to the ICAP framework?
Again, from my personal experience, sometimes time is a great obstacle because you cannot always find time in your lesson to ask students create something, or because again, students have different level of understanding, right? For some students, maybe it will take 3 minutes to write something. For some students, it takes longer time. So time is the only limitation right now. And also not all tasks can be incorporated into ICAP framework. But again, you can think of how you can improve it and see what works best for you. It's just the guideline for you to think of how you can improve it. It's not absolute must. Just think. Usually students find it difficult to write words. I agree. It can happen, but you can start from the very low stage. You can ask them to write some words. Yes, if they're not confident in writing sentences yet, just ask them to write, okay, today we learned 10 new vocabulary about vegetables. What other vocabulary you know? Add 2 more new words. And again, step by step, you can ask them to kind of, build upon that. And instead of writing words, writing sentences. And then from sentences, you can move to paragraph and then make it bigger and bigger.
Okay, yes. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, thank you, dear
Thank you for your
audience.
questions.
Yes, for joining, for being active, and for making this webinar wonderful. So, and dear Sarvinoz, it is always a great pleasure to participate and to learn from you. Thank you so much for your time and dedication. So we're really happy to have you in as our active member. Thank you so much.
This feeling is mutual.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And dear
Thank you.
audience, thanks for you too, for your active participation. Yeah. And happy evening to all of you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Goodbye.